Hey guys, it is Monday here in West Virginia, so it is time for us to do our Mopar Monday. And as you can see, our collection is growing quite a bit. I had to move the transport truck to this side of the diorama to make room for another case for Daytonas over here, because they will not fit in the regular brick rods. And I've already filled these two over here. These are 8-car cases from Temu. They're only like $5 a piece. They're not that bad. $5 or $6 a piece. They may have went up now. I bought those ones maybe a year or two ago, something like that. But anyways, yeah. So our Mopar collection is definitely growing. I think there's 160 Dodges and like around 130 Plymouths altogether. So we're getting close to that 300 mark for premium Mopars. So, and there's still more on my list. I have this list here that I'm going through and checking them off as I find them and get them for reasonable prices. And then some that I come across were not even on my list, like for example, a couple of the Plymouth Cudas we're going to look at today weren't even on my list, and I ended up picking them up. And the one that was on my list that I didn't think I would get, actually, my buddy Gilbert sent me one. It is this one here, the Gone in 60 Seconds Cuda, because I was having a very hard time finding this for less than like $25, and then he ended up sending me one. So I was very grateful for that. This is a really cool car. I used to have it when I was in the Philippines, but after the move back here and all the other crap that went on, I ended up getting rid of all my stuff and then started rebuilding again back in 2023. So glad to have this guy back in my collection. This has actually turned out to be the hardest to find of the Gone in 60-second cars. Now, one of the police cars may be hard to find too. I think it's a Crown Vic police car. But anyways, yeah, let's go over the package real quick. It doesn't really say anything about the movie, about the car, or anything. It just says lock your car, or it may be gone in 60 seconds. That's kind of cool. Greenlight Hollywood. This is an older release from 2014, I think it was. Well, it's in there somewhere. Now, the original movie came out in 74, but this one, where the Cuda's from, came out in the year 2000. Yeah, in my opinion, I've never watched the first one, but I do think I would prefer the modern, or the more modern version. The more modern version's already over a quarter of a century old. So it's kind of crazy how long ago that was made. But anyways, yeah, this was Series 7 in the Hollywood lineup from Greenlight, and now I don't even know what number they're on, probably in the 50s maybe, if not further along than that. The Hollywood series is always a cool series. And now let's take a look at the Moulin Rouge, also known as Panther Pink Hemi Cuda. And this thing is beautiful. It's not a common color on the E-bodies in die-cast. That they made a lot of, well, maybe not a lot of them, but there were a handful of the, I think it's FM3 is the paint code for the pink Moulin Rouge and Panther Pink. One was for Dodge, one was for Plymouth. And which one was for Plymouth, I cannot recall. So I think it's the Panther Pink was Plymouth. But anyways, yeah, they don't make a lot of them in die cast, which I'm really surprised. Like, for example, M2 Machines has not released one in the factory pink. They do have one that they released in their breast cancer awareness set, but it's a different shade of pink than this car here, than the factory Mopar paint. The Mopar paint's more of like a magenta kind of color, in my opinion. So, really cool car. Looks good with the chrome rallies. It's got the go-wing on it. Shaker hood with the black scoop. And the big old Hemi down in there. The elephant engine. Then that beautiful quad headlight grille of a 71. The Guild fenders. And those cool tail lights and the exhaust tips coming out of the rear roll pan. Very slick looking pony car. So very glad to add that one. Thanks again, Gilbert. Really appreciate that. Now the next one is one that wasn't on my list because I wasn't going to get it because I thought it was the same as the BF Goodwrench car from Greenlight. That is, excuse me, the United States Postal Service car. And I still have to get the Challenger because it's slightly different than the other 70s that I have. And the Challenger's in Plum Crazy. And that seems to be the most common color for e-bodies by diecast companies, because I have like I would say 3 different 70 and 2 different 71 Cudas, Challengers and Plum Crazy, and then I have a handful of Cudas from Greenlight and M2 and Plum Crazy. But yeah, I still have to add another one to my collection. I'm not even sure if it's on the list. But this guy here I thought was going to be like the BFG one. The BFG one, though, has 5 slot wheels on it, like some kind of billet specialty wheels and such. And I thought it was also this FJ6 green, but it's not. It is that limelight kind of color. And it had a black shaker, but it's also got painted bumpers like this guy here. That's a really cool stamp. And on the back of the package, you do have a little write-up here. The 2013 muscle car stamps are the 3rd set in the America on the Move series. The series began in 05 with stamps picturing 50 sporty cars and continued in 08 with 50s, fins, and chrome. So that's cool. Let's take him out, and then I'm going to show you the BFG one. The BFG one I actually already will swap because I wanted it to look more factory. And actually one of the cars we're unboxing is the Challenger of the BFG series, and I will swap it too. So it may look a little different when we unbox it. But anyways, yeah, this is kind of a cool car. They messed up on the windshield trim. As you can see, it's way off than how it should be. But anyways, I'm not going to worry about it because this is a plastic top and I can't really take like the nail polish remover to it. It may melt the plastic. So we'll just leave that alone and not really worry about it. We'll say the chrome trim doesn't fasten too good and it's popping off. Something like that. But yeah, beautiful car. As I said, it's got the painted bumper option, as we can see. Let's go ahead and get that BFG one out here. Give me 1 second. I put it out here to the side. So here it is. And as I mentioned, it had the 5 slots on it, but I did swap it out for some factory rally wheels. And I thought they were the exact same car because as you can see, this one's got painted bumpers also. I just thought the only difference was going to be the shaker color and the wheels difference. And since I was wheel swapping it, anyways, they were both going to have the same wheels. Well, as you can see, one is FJ6, what is it, Sassy Grass, I think. And this is the Limelight or Sublime, whatever Plymouth called it. So as you can see, they are different colors. Similar, but different. So I'm glad I ended up picking this guy up and getting him for the collection. And as I said, I'm just trying to chew away at the E-bodies from Greenlight. I'm not trying to get them all. I'm just trying to get the ones that look like factory stock muscle cars. And I almost passed on the the BFG one because of the wheels, but then I started thinking, well, that's an easy fix. I can wheel swap it. And that's exactly what I did with this BFG one. As you can see, it has Kragers on it in the picture, or American Racing. The wheels that were on it from the Greenlight are like a 5-slot wheel, and I don't know, I just prefer Mopar Rallies or steel rims or magnums on the car. So that's what I did. It does now have Mopar Rallies on it, but these Mopar Rallies are from M2. I didn't have any more left from Greenlight in stock. And on the back, they just give you a different pic of the cars that were in the advertisements with different wheels, but they all had BFG tires. And there's the Cuda and such. And Greenlight makes quite a few of these cars, actually. I guess it would be kind of cool to have all of them next to each other on the wall, because these billboards were not usually, but were around a lot in the 90s and such. Now see the front wheel placement on the Greenlight Challenger. That's the one thing I don't care about for the Challenger from Greenlight, is how the wheel looks. And that's not just because I have a M2 wheel on it. Now the driver's side is not as bad. It's like the hole is either drilled crooked, which I think it is the way it looks, but it does have play in it. You can move it around some. And if you move it, and it does kind of center up a little bit. And I'll show you another Challenger from Greenlight so you can see it's not just the M2 wheels. Well, as you can see, that one looks pretty good. This one looks like it's back too far. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Now this wheel looks really far back on this side. I don't know why. But if I ever can get another set of Mopar Rallies from Greenlight, I'll put them on the car. Maybe that'll make it look a little better. Even though they're a little bit too fat. That's the big complaint about the Greenlight rally wheels. But they did do a nice job on the accuracy of the design and such. From the profile shot, they look really good. And this Challenger actually looks pretty good on that side. But it always seems one side looks like it's pushed back too far. I don't know why, but it just does. And such. And here is one with magnums. It doesn't look as bad. But still yet, this side looks back a little too far. Now, on the BFG one, it looks like it's back too far on the passenger side, not the driver's side. But anyways, these will do for now. I like it better than the 5 slots that were on it. And now I have pretty much all of the Greenlight TA Challengers and all of the Auto World TA Challengers. There are a couple from M2, but they're all inaccurate. They don't have correct hoods on most of them, and the wrong engine size decals on it. The only one that they've made correct so far is a brown one from an auto hauler set that comes with a power wagon towing it. It does have the correct TA hood and such, and it looks pretty good. That's one that I would like to get because it's brown, and you don't really see a lot of brown TA Challengers out there. So, wouldn't mind picking that up. So, here's the third car for today, we'll move him over to the side since that's not one we're unboxing. So we got one more left. And it is another Cuda. And it is from the 50 years of the Hemi. And it's the 426 Hemi, not just a Hemi. So 50 years of the 426 Hemi. 1964 to 2014. And I have the Roadrunner from this series, which looks pretty good in the orange. It's a 68. And then there's a 68 Charger that's pretty nice looking. It's like a teal blue color with the double white tail stripe that 68's had. It looks pretty good. There's also a silver Challenger in this series that I may end up getting because I think that's the last classic muscle car that I need from the series. But here it is in red, and it does look like the billboard is a little bit too high up. It should be closer to the wheel well. That the radius was cut too big, but on a lot of them with the billboards, they have this fender trim too, but that fender trim is not going to compensate for that big of a gap. As you can see, even without the fender trim, the billboard still touches the wheel opening. That was one reason I steered away from this car for a while, because of the billboard placement. But then I started looking. I didn't have any plain all red 71s. I have a red 71 with a black top, but that's about it. And I had and I also have a red 71 that has dog dish caps and stillies on it with a go wing. So I like seeing them sitting next to each other in the same color, but with different options, with go wings, without go wings, and so forth. So I went ahead and decided to pick this one up. And I don't think this is on my list either, that I showed you guys. So this is the last one, and pretty slick looking car. It's like a reddish orange. I don't think it's tour red because it's a little bit too dark in some manners, but I don't know. It's not the bright, vibrant red. It may be tour red. Hemi orange, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. But here is one of the orange ones that is definitely orange, and you can see it's just got a little bit more orange to it than this. This is a little bit too much red to be Hemi orange or tour red. But I don't know. It just could be the way that they mixed it too. It just may be bright red and they mixed it a little bit too much orange. Or it may be Hemi orange and they didn't put enough orange in it. So, yeah, not sure what color it's supposed to be. But it is a very cool looking car. And yeah, I forgot to show you guys the back of the package on this one. It just shows you an illustration of the engine that is partially cut to show you the valves and cylinders and such things like that, which is pretty cool. Then the other package, oh yeah, we looked at all of them. Never mind. The VF Goodwrench didn't have nothing on it. But yeah, this is a cool picture with the cutout and stuff of the engine. And they actually do have these engines in some museums where they're partially cut open like that, to show you how the engine functions and other stuff. But anyways, yeah, that's about all that's on the back of the package of that one. So that is it for today, guys. We had all E-bodies once again, and we have 3 Cudas and 1 Challenger. And we'll be back again on Friday for a Free It Friday. I have a custom S10 that I got from Gilbert also that I want to show you guys, but I think I'm going to hold out until he gets the other one done. He's working on a Monte Carlo. That way I can do them all in one video. But in the meantime, I may make a short on the S10 because it is beautiful. And I think you guys will like it. And then we have some Dodge Daytonas to crack open. So we may end up cracking open more Mopars on Friday. We'll just wait and see what happens. But anyways, guys, have a great week. And we will see you again on Friday, if not sooner. So turn on your notification bell so you know if we drop something new.